In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add an extra 2 to 3 deals every single month to your real estate business using YouTube ads. And I'm not just going to give you the high level kind of fluff that everybody goes through. I'm going to go more into the nitty gritty and actually show you one of my client accounts, John from Oklahoma City, where we got him 10 appointments in his first 35 days or so running ads together. And he's showing homes to at least one of them right now. A couple are a few months down the line. But I'm sharing a real case study with you, real screenshots. I'm going to show you the exact metrics just so you can see a real world example of how YouTube ads work, basically how to create your own funnel and run a similar campaign so you can basically get the best results possible. And you're probably thinking, who is this guy? Why should I listen to him? Why should I care? My name's Noah. I'm the founder of Peak Presence, a real estate growth partner. I basically help real estate agents across the US grow their business using YouTube ads and create a leverage system for them just to scale predictably every single month. And I've helped agents all over the country grow their business in every single market. I've helped Tina in Las Vegas sign a $1.75 million listing on the 29th day of working together. And she actually just got a $3 million buyer who's 3 months out just this past weekend. And then there's Amy in Rapid City, South Dakota, who got her first in-person buyer consultation a week and a half into running ads and just heard that lead, that appointment got pre-approved and they're going to be looking for homes. And as well for Amy, I actually got her a $500,000 buyer appointment just last night as well. And Tracy, who's showing homes to the first appointment we generated within the first month of running ads. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the video. As always, I'm going to go through exact screenshots from his ads manager, basically the stats from the campaign, what I was actually testing, the exact videos, the testing strategy I was using, the funnel, and then actually the appointments. And I'm going to give a quick overview of just how I replicate this across multiple markets in the US so that you can do the same. Now, as always, I'm just going to give all of this information away for free because I sell implementation, not information. So having said that, if you want me to build this system out, just put it in your business, what's already working, and get similar results to John, just book a call with me using the first link in the description. But as always, I just want to provide as much value as possible. So here's the exact stats from John's campaign. And as I always say, you need to be tracking your data manually. Whether you're doing it manually or you have a third-party tracking software, the attribution on Google, Facebook, Instagram ads, you just can't trust it. So you need to be tracking all of this stuff separately using some sort of third party or doing it manually. So this is a screenshot from the tracking sheet that I have for John. And this is the first 4 weeks. So February 28th or January 28th, to February 28th. Now in this time, we spent $671 and we got 10 qualified appointments booked on his calendar. So let me just kind of walk you through what this looks like and just kind of show you how crazy it is. First week of running ads, spent $170 and got 5 qualified appointments on his calendar, which is just ridiculous. I don't know the math on that. I can't do that in my head, but that's like, I don't know, that's like $30 per qualified appointment or $35 or something, which is ridiculous. Like that's absolutely crazy. Now, even looking at this as well, I know a lot of realtors are like, oh, $671, I can't spend that. Well, I mean, if you position it the other way, would you spend $671 to get 10 qualified appointments with serious buyers and sellers in your market, right? Most realtors would say they would. And that's exactly what you need to do in order to be successful with ads. You can't be stingy with your money and not want to spend anything up front. Oh, I only pay at close. Well, that can work for some realtors and it does. But for the majority of realtors who aren't these absolute killers at sales, you need to be able to invest in yourself, not get so just reactive when you're spending money. Oh, I spent $50, I didn't get anything, I'm going to turn the ads off, right? You need to see it out and see where it goes so you can actually let the algorithm do its thing and adjust. And even with this, like this is totally not typical for YouTube ads. Within the first couple weeks of YouTube ads, they're always going to be the slowest. That's why I tell all my clients, set the expectation. The first weeks of YouTube ads, the algorithm is just learning. It's taking time to optimize. Whereas platforms like Facebook and Instagram, you can start seeing leads within the first day or two. Whereas on YouTube, it's definitely a bit of a longer cycle. But in this case, like 5 booked appointments in the first 7 days, which is just crazy if you ever ran YouTube ads. And you can also see right here, 12 leads in the first week, and 5 of those were qualified and booked appointments. So I don't know the math on that as well, but that's like 30, 35, 40% of the leads were actually qualified enough to book an appointment, which is ridiculous for online leads, right? And as you can see over this time, 10 total booked appointments. And it kind of give you an update on where John's at. I know he's showing homes to at least one of them already, currently as we speak. And then there's 2, 3, 4 others at least who are going to be a couple months out thinking about buying, selling. I know he had a 2-in-1, someone looking to buy and sell, and a couple other high budget buyers as well. And with these YouTube ads, like this is really what's so important about just advertising in general. You need to fill your pipeline up with as many of these high intent buyers and sellers as possible. Because if you're not aware of the stat, it's something like 72% of people go with the first realtor they interview. 72%. So having said that, you just need to get in front of as many of these people as possible who have intent, are going to be making a move, not necessarily in a week, in a month, but maybe a couple months down the line. And if you can continue to provide them value, get them set up on a custom home search to their email, which is what I do with all my clients and what John's doing to these people, they're going to see those homes. And when they are ready to pull the trigger, who do you think they're going to reach out to? The person who's been providing them value the entire time, right? And that also goes back to just the lead magnet in the ads, which I'm going to show you. But that's why these work. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a longer term play. But if you're willing to invest some of that money up front in yourself and in your business, you're going to reap the rewards long term. And that's exactly what John's doing here. And also, one more thing, like he spent $671 this month, and if he's showing homes to one of them, he's going to get an $8,000 commission or whatever. Like, think about that return on investment. That's like a I don't know, 12, 13 times ROI, which is crazy. So now getting into the actual testing strategy that I use for John. So this is a screenshot from his ads manager. This time frame is just 26 days. I didn't do 4 other days for whatever reason, but you get the idea. Now, the first thing I want to point out is the split test. So like I mentioned in my last video, you always need to be split testing. So what I like to do is always split test different hooks. So the first 15, 20 seconds of each ad. And the ads get drastically different results. So for example, this one only spent $52 and we got about 2 conversions coming in. Whereas this one spent $340, majority of the budget, and got 22 conversions, meaning appointments and leads at a conversion rate of $15 per appointment and per lead, which is pretty crazy. So it's clear that that one was the winning ad. And this one was also doing well, so I kept it running. But you can see right here, I just shut this one off. This was the lowest performing ad, and I just paused it after 11 days to make sure the budget could be completely allocated to those ads that were doing the best, right? Because there's no point to keep testing if you already have something that is just crushing it. You just want to get as much out of that squeeze as possible, right? So, and as you can see, this is the campaign average data from the 23 days, or from the 26 days. Sorry, that was a typo. But you can also see this winning ad right here. This one got 22 of the leads and 7 of the appointments. So about 85% of the results came from this one ad. So it just goes back to basically the framework that I always go by. If I wasn't split testing, I would have never known that this ad was doing so well, because I might not have even tested it against something else, but I wouldn't have anything to compare it to as well. So you always need to be split testing. Now the next part is bringing these leads to a landing page, and then after they opt in, fill in their information, name, email, number, they're going to go to this pre-sell page. Now, I'm going to go more in depth on this over here in a second, but this is what John's looks like. So we have the calendar, so they can book directly inbound on the calendar, but also a quick pre-sell video. Now, the problem with online leads is just that they're all so cold. You need a way to get them familiar with you before you actually reach out. And the other problem with it is, even if you do have some sort of asset to warm these people up before you reach out, but you're running ads on, let's say, Facebook and Instagram, where every realtor and their mother is running ads on, there's no way for you to stand out, just because these people have seen it all the time, just over and over. Whereas YouTube ads are a lot more of a blue ocean strategy. Every single thing is custom to your brand, because none of it's generic. You have to put a lot more work in to creating these ads, the funnels. You need to do it all in-house, or have someone else do it for you. You can't just use Facebook's lead forms. You have to actually make your own ads, make your own copy, write the scripts, and build out the entire funnel yourself, which for some people that discourages a lot of people from running YouTube ads because they think it's so complicated. But the people who do know how to run it and are doing it correctly, like John and like what I do with my clients, are absolutely crushing it because there's literally no competition, right? So find a system that works or work with someone who has a system and then just scale that up, right? There's no competition on YouTube ads, as at least at the time of recording this. So you need to warm these leads up with that pre-sale video. Now you just want to introduce yourself, provide some value, and then ask for or then you can make your ask in the form of a call to action, get people to book on your calendar. And that's how you're going to get a couple inbound leads each month, literally just booking directly in your calendar without you ever having to reach out. They're just coming into you and they're already familiar with you because they saw this video and they felt like they had a conversation with you, because video is the best way to build trust with these people before you actually reach out, right? And that's how you speak one to many. It's just a video rather than having an individual conversation with 100 people. They're all going to see the same video and you can just keep it running over and over. It's like a 24/7 salesperson for you. And you're going to get the warm leads to book directly on your calendar, and you would just get a text like this. Now, every other lead that doesn't come in was called within 3-4 minutes. So for John, 2 days after launching, we already had 2 booked appointments coming in. This one budget $600K, and then this was another one. That was another appointment as well. And then there's a couple more that I just added in there for screenshots. But this is literally 2 days after launching, which is ridiculous. Now, the qualifications that I go through are area, budget, requirements, time frame, and if they're working with an agent. And that's what I would recommend for anyone doing this, whether you're calling, whether you have an ISA or virtual assistant. You need to make sure you're qualifying them and finding intent. Now, for whatever reason for this one, I didn't get a budget. I think he was busy, but it still turned out to be a solid appointment. And I think John's still in contact with him now, and he's a couple months down the line. But again, it's just getting in front of these people before anyone else does. Because if you don't reach out to them, they're just going to go to the next person, which is also why speed to lead is so important. You need to reach out to these people almost instantly. Otherwise, again, they're just going to go to the next person because they have a need, they have a problem, and they want that solution as soon as possible, right? So if your tooth is hurting, you go to one doctor, but they're closed, you think they're just going to wait until they open up? No, you're going to go find another doctor who's willing to take you in now so you can alleviate that tooth pain, right? You need to find the solution to your problem, and people want speed, which is why you need to create a system that has leverage and allows you to basically get in touch with these people as soon as possible. Otherwise, you're just losing money. Now, that's the exact system I use for John to get 10 appointments in the first month. Now I'm going to go through basically my universal framework and what makes it work and all of the ins and outs of it. So the first step is just the high intent YouTube ads. So the first part is only targeting keywords that people are actively searching for. So on YouTube is actually owned by Google, if you didn't know that. So what that means is you have access to all of the keywords, all of the information that Google has stored up on everybody. So what I like to do is target people in the market to buy or sell a home. It's not people just scrolling on their phone, they see your ad. These are people who are actively in the market because they're literally looking up terms about buying or selling on Google. So we'll target people looking up homes for sale near me. What's my home worth? How can I sell my home fast? Stuff like that, just so we know they're in the market, and those are the only people we want to target. Because why would you want to spend money on ads to target someone who's not even remotely interested in buying or selling? Now, the next part is just using a proven YouTube ad. So if you haven't ran YouTube ads before, this is going to be tricky. You're going to have to spend a couple thousand bucks to test different ads, but you need to be split testing. But once you do have that proven ad that works, you have a message that resonates with your audience, you just scale it up from there. So again, the ad though is so important on YouTube, more than any other platform like Facebook and Instagram, just because the ad that's the only thing. Like you can't rely on the copy, really the image. You need to have a really well polished ad that resonates and speaks to these people. Now, the last part is filtering. So after somebody clicks on the ad, you get their curiosity, or you build that curiosity. You need a way to filter out all the tire kickers. So what I'd like to do is add questions like, are you looking to buy or sell a home, or are you just browsing around for fun? And if they say, yeah, I'm just kind of looking around for fun, then all right, that's great, but we don't want you to be in our funnel because you're obviously not serious and you're just going to waste our time, right? Obviously, more polite than that, but that's really the gist of it. Why bring in these people if they have literally zero intent? It's just a waste of your time. So that's the first step, is basically only identifying people who have intent and only bringing in those people, only speaking to them, right? So just weeding out all the tire kickers. And one other little piece of advice I want to give here, what I see with a lot of realtors running YouTube ads, a lot of realtors that I speak with, is they show me their ads. No, I don't know why my ads aren't working. So I take a look at them. And in their ad, the call to action is, if you're ever thinking about buying or selling a home, just give me a call. Who would give you a call? You didn't provide anything to them. They have no clue who you are. So why in their right mind would they give you a call after just seeing you for the first time? Now, it's a different story if they're already familiar with you and it's a warm audience. Think retargeting ads, for example. But if you're doing that to cold traffic and you're expecting results, you're honestly kind of crazy, right? That's just a little piece of advice I wanted to add in there. But anyways, the second step is lead pre-selling. So I'm not going to go super in depth on this because I already touched on it, but you need a mechanism to warm these people up before you're actually reaching out. And I just think the most efficient way to do this is by using video, because you can speak one to many. You're not having to have individual conversations, but you're still able to build trust and authority with these people before you reach out, because video is like a virtual conversation. They feel like they're getting to know you before you're reaching out, which is why you need to have video and as many content assets as possible. From there, you're going to get the most warm leads to book directly on your calendar. So just make sure you have that integrated. The last part is the lead conversion. So all the leads who don't come to you inbound, booking on your calendar, you need a mechanism to convert them. So what you need to do is call these leads as soon as possible. So this is either you or your ISA, your virtual assistant. But speed to lead is so important. Every lead needs to be called within 5 minutes. For my clients, I always do at least I always do 10, 15 seconds of the max. I try to call them as quick as possible. Now, the next part is the qualification. So getting the main things like budget, timeline, areas, make sure they're not working with an agent, just stuff like that to make sure you're actually qualifying them to the best of your ability without getting too much into the nitty gritty, right? And then from there, what you want to do is just book them on your calendar for another time to chat, or have your ISA or virtual assistant do this for you. But just weeding out all the tire kickers and just booking you the most serious people on your calendar. And that's the system right there. It's nothing revolutionary, but marketing 101, like this is just what works. First, it's just identifying who has intent, building a message to speak to them. Two is warming up all these people, building trust and authority with them. And then third is the actual sales conversion process on the back end, which is something a lot of agents miss with paid ads. And to just quickly recap, so this is exactly how John from Oklahoma City got 10 booked appointments in his first 30 days running ads, and also how Tina got a $1.75 million listing in 29 days, how Amy actually just reached out to me 2 or 3 days ago, said she started showing homes to one of the leads, and I know she has 2 or 3 other ones in the pipeline as well, but I've been working with her about 35, 40 days, how Julie got 3 booked appointments in her first 6 days, I believe, and I know one of them's a couple months down the line, but a really, really good lead. And how Kyle from Austin, Texas got 2 booked appointments in his first 7, 8 days of running ads. And also how Tracy from Duluth got only 3 leads in the first 30 days, but one of them she's already showing homes to. So this is the exact system that I mentioned that works for all of those that I'm using for all those realtors. And again, just feel free to take what I just showed you, implement it yourself. But as always, if you do want me to just come into your business, do this for you so you can get results like this on autopilot, just book a call with me using the link in the description. Other than that, thank you for watching this. I hope you got some value.